Hey everybody, I am doing book reviews tonight. So I read I Am Nujood, age 10 and divorced. This is a short book. I read it for my Newts readathon and it needed to end in an even number page. It only has about 180 some pages. So this is exactly what you would think it is. Says it right in the title. I'm not giving away a spoiler by telling you that she gets divorced. I Am Nujood, age 10 and divorced. So this is about child marriage in the Middle East. I think it takes place in Yemen. And it's written by Nujood, and then obviously with help from somebody, because I'm assuming she's still pretty young. I'm always doing this, where I'm like freaking trying to read shit. Oh my god. Oh, well, nowadays it would be, this was 2008 that this was written, so this was 10 years ago, so she's a grown-up now. This was published in 2010 though, so she maybe was about 12 years old trying to write this, so she obviously had some help. Yeah, so as for the plot, like, I don't know. I don't know how to, there's not really a lot of spoilers I can give. So this book, it kind of jumps back and forth. It's only one point of view. It's just Nujood, but it jumps back and forth from like her in the present, like going through court and stuff like that, and then she goes back and she tells her story of her childhood before they marry her off, and then how that all goes down. There are some subplots about her siblings that were really interesting and not necessarily predictable, so I'm not going to give any spoilers of that because I thought that they were kind of cool. Most of the characters are children, so children who have to deal with like a lot of adult type of things. So I don't know, like there was some good character development with her siblings, like through the subplots, but like as for herself, it was basically like, I'm a kid and I want to still be a kid, and I want a judge to grant me this divorce so I can get away from this fucking monster of a husband. So yeah. So this is a true story. This is a memoir, actually. This is a true story of the first, what does it say? The first child bride in Yemen to win a divorce. It got all sorts of publicity. Yeah. It got all sorts of publicity when it first happened. Even in the book, it talks about like reporters coming to her house all the time and stuff. So this was kind of like a landmark thing that happened. And in the book, when she's talking to the judges, they said, we knew that people probably weren't following the law, which is that you get married at 15. But or you can get married at 15. The legal age for marriage is 15. So they said that they knew that was happening a little bit younger in the rural areas, but they didn't realize how young, and no one had ever come and tried to get divorced before. So basically, the judges were saying they wouldn't have stood for this sort of thing before, but like someone has to come and want out of the divorce. You can't just go around looking. I don't know. I guess someone could go around looking for child brides, but yeah. So that was pretty cool, and it kind of led to like a domino effect. It said in the epilogue at the end that after Nujood got divorced, like other kids started coming forward, and so it started a movement for children's rights and women's rights in the Middle East. So that's great. As for like some of the characters in this book, I want to say I really hated the parents in this book. Um, all her dad cared about, like, the whole book was basically his honor, and he spent most of his day getting high and, like, begging in the streets for work or for money, and kind of sending the kids out to beg. And I kind of think it was ridiculous that he married her off. I don't know. They didn't, like, make him out to be, like, someone who was hated. In fact, like, she's definitely, like, a daddy's girl. But yeah, and then the mom basically just spent her whole time, like, crying around and being sad about everything that was happening, like, to her kids, and never actually trying to do anything about it. But I think that has to do with the cultural differences and, you know, what kind of goes on in their country. It's a very poor country, from what I gather, and honor and family honor is really important, and tradition, and women don't have a lot of say in different things, and they don't have a lot of rights, and they're kind of just supposed to do what they're told. And so yeah, know that when you're reading this, that if you're expecting the parents to save her, it's not gonna happen. Overall, this book was exactly what I expected. It was interesting, but I would be interested to know kind of what happens after she grows up, because of this whole honor thing, and she's not, spoiler, not really, but she's not a virgin anymore. I'm kind of wondering, I was actually surprised that she wasn't treated badly by her family afterwards. But I think that maybe she might have been, like after the book ends. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I would really like to be interested, like, after the media hype died down, like, what happened? Did she just go to school and grow up, or, like, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of scary. But maybe the person who was her lawyer and stuff, like, kept looking out for her. I don't know. Maybe I should just Google it. Right. I gave it 3.5 stars. It wasn't super exciting. It was pretty predictable, but it was still a good read. And at the end of the book, it said that all the proceeds from this book are going to her getting her education, and she said a few times in here that she kind of wanted to be a lawyer, so she's probably still going to school. But yeah, so that's all I have for you about this one. Okay, bye.